Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhiraye nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Maline Namo Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangre Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachal Pangum Langayate Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarayam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshakarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Panitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptan sanjivayata kila shakti dhara svathamna anyam shahasta charana shravana tvagadi prananamo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam katanchana smrite yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam sya Shri Chaitanya namamitam Hare Krishna. My heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you here at Farmington Hills at the shelter of Sri Sri Radha Gopijana Vallabha and Gaurnitai. I am feeling overwhelmed when I saw the deities. I told Jidu Kishore Prabhu that I have not seen such beautiful deities anywhere in the world. This amazing fortune, Srimati Radharani. I had the Krishna has been kind to me. I am addressing Radharani in Chopati temple since last 15 years every Tuesday. But when I came here, I felt so connected. I felt I was remembering Radha Gopinath temple. So this is extraordinary, unprecedented. And I'm really considering all of you are very blessed. Trust me. I've traveled everywhere. I've gone to Australia also and Europe also. This is an opulence, really opulence. And I thank Vraja Bihari Prabhuj and Srila Prabhupada and Yugal Kishore Prabhu for giving all of you this shelter. Please hold on to this, because the moment I entered temple hall, I was blown away. And sometimes what happens, when we get something and we don't value it, we lose it. So my humble request, this is whatever difficulties you face, misunderstanding, relationship, just tolerate. Because here you have shelter. And that is what we'll discuss today, on how to control the mind by shelter. So that is going to be the topic, part 1, and Sunday we will continue with part 2. But before I begin, I want to express my deep love and gratitude to Yugal Kishore Prabhu. I remember, when first time I met him, I was told he's come from Singapore, he's going to US. I joined the ashram and I was already 3 years or something. And then in Vrindavan Yatra, we were roommates. And I used to always look at him and say, Prabhu, you have popped out of Golok Vrindavan. His dealing, simplicity, purity, amazing. From a simple village in Andhra Pradesh, where just grew up with such devotional mood, then went to Singapore, then came to US. Parents must have thought he was going to earn a lot of money, but just gave his heart to Krishna. Serving for last 20 years, he's in America. Serving, and he's doing some very sincere service to so many senior leaders in ISKCON. I know the details, but I can share here. Such sacrifice, dedication. So, thank you, all of you, for being here, and my sincere gratitude to Yugal Kishore Prabhu also. Hare Krishna. So today we will discuss on dealing with the uncontrolled mind. Anybody here has problem with mind sometimes? Oh, all of you. If you have no problem with mind, then you are devotee. For mind is man to pagal hai. There was a movie, no, dil to pagal. We say man to pagal hai. So mind is very natural. So we are going to discuss today I am going to discuss something technical, but very important. If you understand this, when I come on Sunday and ask you a question, you will be able to answer. And if you understand this concept, we have 36 hours to practice some technique which I am going to share with you today. Trust me, when I realize this and I am practicing this, whenever I practice this, I feel blissful. So we are going to discuss about mind. We have a world inside of us, and how to live in that world, we are going to discuss. Okay, outside of us, we are taught how to live. When you are children, your parents taught you, how to talk to others. In India, we are trained. Oh, you see anybody grown up, you should call them uncle. Namaste, uncle. Namaste. They may not be your uncle. I don't know if it is still the culture. Namaste, uncle. So Americans come to India, they wonder if uncle, why they call uncle. So we are trained when we are children. Namaste, uncle. Namaste, auntie. And we are trained how to speak public. Don't put your finger in the nose. Don't put your feet like this. How to sit. How to talk. How to be smiling. All these things we are taught from childhood, right? But how many of us have been taught from childhood how to think, how to change our thoughts, how to deal with the mind? Nobody is teaching us this. Because there is a whole world, just like outside there is etiquette. What you should not do, what you should do. Similarly, there is some etiquette we have to learn for inside the world also. If we learn that, then we will be always happy. We may not be happy, but we will be peaceful. We will be suffering, but we will be happily suffering. Because that is one of the biggest cheating we can do, is to tell people that you can always be happy. You can't be always happy. Because happiness is like season, it comes and goes. Like winter, summer, rainy season, right? Seasons come and go. So happiness will also come one day. One day will not be happy. One day I was sitting in the ashram. Somebody came and said, Prabhuji, can you do this? I said, no, yeah. I said, why? I'm not feeling happy today. But oh, you're not feeling happy? You're a Prabhuji, you should be always happy. I said, no, I'm not happy today. But I'm alright. I will be alright tomorrow. So he was bewildered. He said, you should be happy, no, always. I said, I'm not happy always. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not happy. But I'm alright. See, the biggest cheating going on in the world now is, oh, you're not happy, means something wrong with you. So we want to burst it. Prabhupada bursted it. You're not happy, it's okay. How many of you are mothers here? Or father, parents? Any parents here? Ah, so many parents. So I asked mothers, you love your child? All the mothers will say. So, do you only feel happy with your child? What emotions you experience with your child? What are the different emotions you experience in relation to your child? All the emotions. Name. Anger, frustration. Let Mataji say. Frustration, anger, sad. All this you feel, no? But you love your child.
Yes.
So Hare Krishna devotees, we love Krishna. But we go through all emotions. So we love Krishna. But life is tough. Like child, raising a child is not easy. But every mother will say, I love my child. But not always happy. Because seasons come. Summer season, winter season, rainy season. Life is composed of all emotions, complete. Life becomes complete when all emotions are balanced. So we should not have foolish expectation. I've come to Hare Krishna, now I will always be happy. No, you will always be frustrated if you think you will always be happy. We have to learn to accept what comes. So that is the topic today. This is the first principle. If we learn to accept life with all its whatever it gives, then we can control the mind. Then we will be peaceful with the mind. Our problem is we want something. What is some? I don't know if you know Hindi. All of you are South Indian. Many of you are South Indian. I heard Telugu, Tamil, Kannada. I was entering the temple hall. I saw two Matajis talking Kannada behind me. I looked at them. I said, I also spoke Kannada with them. And I realized they are from the same village. In Udupi. I was like, wow. So, but in Hindi there is a nice quotation, nice saying. मन खुश है तो एक बूंद भी बरसात है. If mind is happy, one drop is also like a rain. मन खुश है तो एक बूंद भी बरसात है. दुखी मन के आगे समुद्र की भी क्या औकात है. When the mind is sad, even an ocean cannot satisfy. But when you are satisfied, one drop of water will also be like rain. So the point is, mind. We have to learn this satisfaction and acceptance. मिलता तो बहुत कुछ है जिंदगी में, पर जिद तो उसी का है जो मुकद्दर में लिखा ही नहीं. We get lot of things in life, but we are insisting on getting that which is not written here. That is why we are miserable. So the first principle of being happy with the mind is being happy with what you get in life. Peaceful. So we'll now teach you how to practice this acceptance, how to practice this peace. It is not theory, very, very practical. So for that, you have to understand some theory first about mind, which is about our inner world. Just like outside there is a world. Okay, outside, you are right now where? Temple. So your body, mind, all this, your body, physical body, can live in one of the three places. First is temple. Now you go after temple, where you will go? Home. So your body can be in home also. And tomorrow you go to work, you will be in office. So body can be in office also. So for the body, there are three places where the body can stay. Temple, home, office. Right? Similarly, in your inside world, we discussed in the beginning, inside world is there. You can be in one of the three houses. and I'm going to share with you what are those 3 houses in our inner world and where maximum time you are spending. So we are going to teach you how to spend some time at least, just like in the outside world we tell, come to temple Prabhuji, come to temple at least once a week. So some time you spend in temple, you become happy. Similarly, in the inner world, there are 3 houses. There is one particular house where you are supposed to stay, at least for some time every day. And once you stay there, you will feel shelter. And then you can stay in the other 2 houses. Just like imagine you are only staying in office, miserable, right? So you are in office also, home also, temple. But when you come to temple, you get nourishment and you get strength to stay in home and office. Similarly, in the inside world, there are 3 houses. How to stay in which house? We are going to talk about one particular house where you should stay at least sometime every day. Then you will not have any problem. Means there will be suffering, there will be problem, but you will be happy. Okay, so ready? We are going to discuss what are the 3 houses. It's very, very important. Your life will change forever. Before that, I'll tell you one story. One day, this is a true story. I was in Bombay. My friend was staying in slum area, low-lying area. And I had gone there, it was raining heavily. And in the slum area, when the flood comes, all the water from toilet also comes out. And the entire chawl, water was still here. And I knew it is all from stool, urine. We were all water till here, all that stool, urine, in the gutter, drainage water. And we helped him go somewhere. And then after that, I had to walk 2 hours to my house in that. Yeah, you know what I'm feeling? Krishna. I was not devotee that time. I was like walking. I came home. My home was South Bombay. And when I came home, I rang the bell. My mother opened. And I ran to the bathroom, put on shower. I think for 1 hour, 2 hours, I was just taking bath. I think I used one whole soap. After the bath, I came and outside my room, there was a nice balcony, 6th floor, facing the ocean, breeze blowing. My mother brought hot pakoda, hot chai. Felt shelter, felt relief, because I was in so much suffering. And when I came home, it happens to you sometimes. So life also, for us, life gives us a lot of this SHI, stool, urine, all that thing comes in our life. We can't avoid it. It is thrown on us. Everybody faced it in life. You get angry, why I'm getting this? But you are getting it. The only choice you have is what topping you want on it. You will get it. So nobody can escape suffering. So all that dirty things are coming. So then what you need? You need a home in the inner world also. Are you getting it? Just like external world, you need a home where you feel 3 things: shelter, peace, and a sense of belonging. This is my home. This is me. Just like in the external world, you need a home where you feel shelter, peace, and sense of belonging. In the outer world, in the inner world also, you need a home state. Home state. That is the most important house in the inside world where we are. And that can be different. For some of you, that could be Bhagavatam study. For some of you, it could be deity worship. When you're worshipping deities, you are completely at home. You feel shelter, you feel peace, you feel sense of belonging. Oh, this is my service. I love this. You forget time. For somebody, Sankirtan. So there is a home state. Some of us, it could be many things. Journal writing, deity worship, and Bhagavatam study. So we need a home state where we can go when we are distant. Every day, if you spend some time at home state, then we will be peaceful. We'll get shelter. Then we'll get strength to face all this thing thrown at us. Once I was coming from North Bombay to South Bombay in car. Traffic jam. AC got spoiled. No train also. COVID times. Traffic jam. And so much sweating, pollution, noise pollution, suffering. 5 hours. And when I reached temple, my room, I opened the room and I entered the room. Shelter. So the external level, we need that shelter, right? Similarly, the inside world also we need shelter. That is called as a home state. So if you want to control your mind, if you want to see that your mind gives you less suffering, then go beyond the mind, go to your home state where you find shelter. So there are 3 houses in the inside world. We discussed only one. That is shelter space. There are 2 other houses, and most people are living in one of these 2 houses. The first house is called house of sense gratification. Sense gratification means pleasure seeker. Always thinking of enjoyment. What is there for prasad now? Oh, what jokes is selling the speaker? So we want entertainment. We want our senses to be titillated and happy. You may be in temple hall, but you can be thinking of pleasure. We are not talking about the external world, remember. We are talking about inner world. In the inner world, you could be anywhere. You could be in Vrindavan Dham, and you could be thinking of pleasure. Inner world, there are some people whole day they are in house of sense gratification. Or they are who they are? Pleasure seeker. And I give you an example. When before joining temple, I used to get up at 7:30 in the morning before coming to ISKCON. And after getting up, after 2 hours, we become hungry after we wake up. So 9 o'clock breakfast. But after joining temple, we used to get up at 3 o'clock. So after 2 hours, very hungry, 5 o'clock. But 5 o'clock, Mangalarti started. No, brother. And that time breakfast was at 9 o'clock. So 5 to 9, hunger. So at 5:45 we sit for japa. And japa till 7:30, I have to chant and hungry. So the kitchen in charge was sitting next to me and chanting japa. So one day I asked him, Prabhuji, what is there for breakfast? So he got angry with me, that before starting japa, you are asking what is for breakfast. So out of frustration, he told me, samosa and jalebi. Actually, we don't make early morning samosa, but I was so foolish. I said, wow, really? He said, yeah. So I started thinking of full japa, 1.5 hours. Samosa, jalebi, apple chutney, and there's a sauce and jalebi, hot jalebi. I was chanting like this. So externally, my body was in which house? Externally, my body was in which house? Temple house, temple. Internally, where I was? Which house? Sense guided. I was a pleasure seeker. I was chanting like this. So 7:30 conscious blue. Hingar darshan. I opened my eyes and I went and I stood in front of deities. One Grahastha devotee who comes every day for japa, he came to me. He said, Prabhuji, what chanting you are doing? He saw me chanting. He saw me chanting for 1.5 hours. And he was thinking I'm smiling because he don't know why I'm smiling. I was thinking of samosa and jalebi. But he's thinking, oh, he's remembering Krishna. He's telling me, Prabhuji, what chanting you are doing? So inspiring, Prabhuji. So grateful to you, Prabhuji. You are so good, Prabhuji. And I was so embarrassed. Hare Krishna. I was feeling so ashamed. So you understood what is happening? All of us go through that. I gave a very simple example. It could be horrible also. Sometimes mind can take us anywhere for pleasure. Right? So, who are you? Are you a pleasure seeker? So whenever you want to bring awareness and you want to get peace of mind, first question you should ask, who am I right now? Am I a peace experiencer? Peace experiencer matlab you are in home state, or you are in shelter space, shelter home, shelter house, or are you a pleasure seeker, which means sense gratification. But there is one more house. Remember, there are 3 houses. What is the first one? Shelter, home state, peace experiencer. Second is sense gratification, pleasure seeker. But there is another house. And 99.9% of people, 99% of the time, they are living in this house, which is called problem solver. Or that is a house of struggle. Constantly struggling in the mind. I have to call up this person, I have to call up that person. So much sabji has to be purchased today. Means always gap and always fulfilling, meeting the gap. You are here, I want to be here, there is a gap, how to fill the gap? Whether that gap is to purchase sabji or whether it is to send a rocket to space. And everything in between, it's all gap. 99 whole human society is living in the world of problem solver, struggle. Why he spoke to me like that? I have to give him a reply. He doesn't like me. I don't always struggle. And then the struggle gets tiring, we go for self-gratification. That is why sometimes people are working so hard, so much struggle, then they come back home and watch Netflix for 5 hours. Why sense gratification? Because tired, exhausted. So we are living either in the sense gratification house or struggle house. Struggle house, I'll give an example. We have every year drama festival in Chopati. Big drama in the auditorium. And sometimes earlier Brahmacharis also used to do drama. So this is very funny. One Brahmachari was very shy, never acted. So we forced him to act in the drama. And only one dialogue he had in the drama. He has to come with this, he's a soldier. He has to come in the stage and he has to say, "Who is Yamuna? The king has sent a palanquin for you." That's all. And then he has to go. But poor fellow was so nervous, so we made him practice every day for 3 hours. And last day, tomorrow is drama. Tomorrow evening is drama. Today evening we made him practice for 5 hours. And finally he was confident. And he said, "Okay, I will do it tomorrow." But Prabhuji, I'm nervous. No, you'll do it. So next day morning, Mangalarti, everybody has to be there. So Mangalarti, they are chanting, Kirtan, Haribol. Then Japa, we sit in Japa circle like this, small circle. Everybody is chanting Japa, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And he was sitting next to me and chanting. And we are circle. And temple all is quiet, everybody is like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like this. Everybody is chanting, peaceful. And this devotee, his body is where? Temple. Mind was not in the 3 houses the mind can be. Ideally, temple has been created, that japa period has been created so that you live in which house? Shelter house. But we live in sense gratification house or struggle house. And what this brahmachari was doing, he was sitting and he was thinking of the drama and dialogue. He was chanting. And suddenly what happened, Suddenly we were all quietly chanting. Suddenly from somewhere sound came. "Who is Yamuna? The king has sent palanquin." The king, and he opened his eye and he realized. And everybody is looking at him. What happened? Imagine temple hall is very quiet, but your mind is so absorbed in solving that problem that it came out of his mouth. He didn't even realize. Who is then he realized. He felt so ashamed and everybody laughed. Maharaj was there. He also started laughing. His characteristic style. So he was living at that time in the struggle house. So I'm asking all of you, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, children, where do you live most of the time? In your inner world. External world, you may be in temple 24 hours. External world, whatever it is. Inner world, where you are. At shelter, sense gratification, or struggle. Peace, problem solving, or pleasure. Which of the 3? So I'm okay. I'm saying, okay, you are seeking pleasure. Human being, no problem. Problem you have to solve, no problem. But at least some time you spend in a place where you don't have to solve any problem, where you are just allowing whatever is coming. You are not resisting, you are not struggling. Like, for example, all of you came for this class. You put faith, no? You didn't know what I will speak. You didn't know what will happen, but you came. That's it. So that is a way you live in the shelter space, where we have faith and we live without struggling. We are not resisting what is coming. We are allowing ourselves to be influenced. That is called the space of surrender. Surrender is not a bad word. Surrender doesn't mean you become a slave. Surrender means allowing the universe, allowing Krishna to control my life. At least for some time in a day. Krishna, I am yours. I give up the struggle, Krishna. I give up seeking pleasure now, Krishna. Krishna, I am yours, Krishna. When we chant, if we can, at least sometime during the chanting, even if not the whole chanting, just sometime during chanting, if you can say this, Prabhupada, one lecture I was hearing yesterday, Prabhupada says. So, prayer means very simple. Prayer means 3 words. Please accept me. What a beautiful definition of prayer. So, when we are chanting, if you say, Krishna, please accept me. I am yours. Krishna. This is surrender. So, we are just giving up, but not allowing the mind to take over. We are giving up to whom? Krishna. So for some, no, it is not chanting. For some, it is kirtan actually. In kirtan, they can be completely absorbed. So I'm not going to promote here kirtan, deity worship, book distribution. I'm promoting the principle of shelter. You find out what it is for you. For me, journal writing. I write prayers in the morning, or reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Everybody has different, but you find what is your space where you are not struggling. It is very important to spend some time where you are not struggling. Once, I was chanting in the temple hall like this, japa. This is I was a young devotee, passionate, lot of energy. How we chant sometimes, like very intense. Krishna, Krishna. So it was more of theatrical performance than japa. I was like really intensely chanting for 2 hours. Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare, Hare Ram. So in between, I saw from my eyes one Grahastha devotee who was chanting. He also comes once in a week. Sunday he comes for japa in the temple. He was chanting. I saw he's only looking at me only. So I thought maybe he's getting inspired, so let me chant more. So after japa, there is Guru Puja. So during Guru Puja, he said, Prabhuji, I want to talk to you something. So he brought me outside. He said, Prabhuji, japa, what were you doing? I said, I was chanting intensely. So why like that? It's a struggle. I was controlling the mind. So then he said, Prabhuji, it is a struggle, japa. I said, yeah, very struggle. And I want to win this struggle against the mind. So he said, every day you chant like this. I come only on Sunday, but every day you chant like this. I said, yes. Every day I struggle with the mind. He said, every day? He said, yeah. Oh. So I said, what happened? No, Prabhuji, I am working outside, 6 days a week. And I have to struggle whole week. And whole week when I'm struggling, I tell myself, don't worry. Sunday you'll go to temple and you can relax with Krishna, you can be with devotees. So I come here and I say, you're also struggling only. So what is the difference between you and me? It was as if somebody had slapped me. I realized, yeah, I'm struggling. I have to struggle. See, struggle we cannot avoid. I'm not giving class on how to escape from struggle. That is cheating. We can't escape struggle. Okay, we have to fight, we have to struggle. Arjuna fighting what? We have to fight every day. Struggle is there. Udyame nahi siddhyanti karyanena manorathe nahi sittasya sinhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. Srila Prabhupada quoted this shloka many times. Many times Srila Prabhupada quoted this shloka saying that one has to struggle, one has to work hard. You can't get simply by sitting in the mind, you can't get anything. You have to work hard. And the last line says, Nahi suptasya sinhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. The lion is sleeping and opens its mouth, the deer will not come and enter the mouth. Prabhupada says in one lecture, Nahi suptasya sinhasya, the lion is opening the mouth and sleeping. Pravishanti mukhe mriga, the deer will not come inside the mouth. The deer may come and pass urine and go away. Prabhupada says like that. So we have to work hard, we have to struggle. So we are not denying that. That is fine. But 24 hours struggle, there is something wrong. Because law of gravity, if you are only struggling, then you are in Rajoguna, you will come to Tamoguna. See, there are three modes: Sattva, Raja, and Tama. So if you are always in Rajoguna, Tamoguna will take you down. If you are in Sattva, then Raja will pull you down. The three modes are always fighting, struggling. So the whole message of today's class is somehow spend some time every day in your home state, where you are at home, where you are safe. What are the three things you feel when you are at home state? Shelter, peace, sense of belonging. This is mine, this is me. So we have to spend some time. Then what happens when we are in home state for a long time? Slowly, then we get strength. And even when you are struggling, you will be peaceful. Because, like I have one friend in Mumbai, he travels in local train, horrible train, crowded, you see Bombay train capacity, one compartment is capacity of 300 people, 5,000 people are packed. They're standing like this. And you have to smell others' armpits. You don't want to smell, but very horrible Bombay. So in that local train, he travels every day for 1 hour one way and peak hour. And when I met him in temple, he had his eyes were blissful. I said, "You're looking happy." He said, "Yes, Prabhu, I'm very happy." "No, but you're traveling in local train, it must be horrible, no?" He said, "No, Prabhu, actually he just got engaged. And he actually loves his fiancée. And he's very happy and excited about marrying her." So he says, "Prabhuji, when I go and so much struggle, but in the evening, after office, when I go back near our house, because she lives in a nearby neighborhood. So every day we meet in the park for 1 hour. So that anticipation of being with her excites me from morning till night. And I'm able to tolerate everything. That is his home state. I'm talking about the external world. In the external world, the anticipation of being in home state gives him the strength to tolerate all the problem of the local train. Similarly, in our inner world, if we have a home state, I love to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I love to read deity worship, I love to pray to Krishna, I love to memorize shloka. So something where you are at peace, and you're not able to do it, but the anticipation that, at 6:30 in the evening, I'm going to get some time to be in my home state. So now I will tolerate what my boss is saying, I will tolerate what is happening here. Are you getting what I'm saying? That the anticipation is very important. Like I have one brahmachari friend, he is 57 years old now, and he dances so beautifully and is always blissful. And when I asked him, "Prabhu, you must be also having a lot of challenges and suffering." He says, "Yeah." Then I asked him, "What gives you strength? Why are you so blissful?" He says, "Whenever I feel stress or anything, I immediately think, tomorrow there will be Guru Puja. Tomorrow morning, 7:45, Guru Puja will be there." So that looking forward for that time with his companion, with his in his home state. So we all need that. So the first exercise is find out what is your home state. And second, when you are chanting or when you are doing any activity, give up the resistance and surrender. And that will become your home state. Even if you don't when I joined, I didn't like Kirtan so much. Now I come from a South Indian Brahmin family where in our house we used to think dancing was low class people used to do dance. In our village, Brahmanas used to think Bengalis are worse people. They used to think like that. And Mridanga playing is done by low caste people. And dancing is horrible. And after joining this one, I was doing all the three. Learning Bengali, So my relatives are shocked. What is he doing? So why I'm saying this is because when you are doing when I was in Kirtan, I used to never like Kirtan in the initial days. So I said to Gaurang Prabhu, Kirtan nahi chahta. Philosophy we can have class. He said, okay, you don't like, no, okay, no problem. What you like, you do. But then Kirtan was going on, and I was in the Kirtan one day, and I was standing at the end. And then I said, somehow Krishna inspired me, let me give up that resistance. You know what I mean? That resistance that I don't like this, is not good, is low class. All that mental dialogue that we say, it's all coming from the space of struggle. Let me surrender. I switched off that struggle button and I raised my hands. And he said, Krishna and yours. And then the experience I had in that Kirtan, till today I have not forgotten. And then I don't know how I felt I was flying in the air. Such a dance, such happiness. And then dancing. Earlier I was feeling shy, dancing. Then I started dancing such a way that others were feeling shy. So that became a home state. You know what I'm saying? But still, sometimes artificially we cannot have. But what I'm saying is at least something, at least some activity you discover. And even if you're not discovering, one of the ways to discover is give up resistance. Like when you're studying hearing Bhagavatam class, stop thinking of prasad. Stop thinking when the class will get over. Stop thinking of your office work now. Stop texting people. See, earlier, life was very good. When we were joining temple, we used to hear long classes, 3-4 hour classes in Chowpatty temple. And that time we used to get bored also in the middle in the class. We are human beings, we used to feel sleepy also. But we had no choice. We had to just sit in the class. And what happened because of that? The resistance we had to give up. And when we gave up that resistance, we allowed the sound vibration to purify and we entered the space of surrender and shelter without realizing. But now you are sitting in the class and you are getting bored, you are just 1, 2, 3 seconds away from getting distracted. Immediately you get distracted. So now we are not trained how to handle boredom. We think boredom is bad and we need some distraction. No, boredom and disinterest is very good because that is the time when actually you can take shelter. Just don't do anything. When I feel lonely or I feel stressed or something, negative feeling, anything I get, I try not to use this. I just sit with that pain. I sit with it. Take it for some time. And then read Bhagavatam. Then go to your home state. The point is we try to distract ourselves. We stimulate ourselves. Life is tough. So we need a home state. जहर मरने के लिए थोड़ा सा, पर जिंदा रहने के लिए बहुत पीना पड़ता है. Now poison you need very little to die, but to remain alive you have to drink a lot of poison. So life is tough. We have to deal with our inadequacies, our gaps. I want to be pure devotee, but I'm here. And always looking at the gap, we are never happy because we are thinking life is always struggle. So what I do is, I discovered a very nice technique. In the night before sleeping, I don't look at the gap. This gap. I don't see. I see the gain, what I gained from yesterday. Today I did 7 things, which is very good. Thank you, Krishna. Today I spent time with my very dear friend Yugal Kishore Prabhu. Today I gave a class in Boston in the morning and the devotees are very happy. And today I read Chaitanya Charitamrita for 1 hour in the flight. I may not be pure devotee. I am anarthas, I am fallen, I am pig, I am donkey, all that is there. But night before sleeping, don't look at the gap. Look at the gain. I have gained so much today, and all because of Krishna's mercy. So I sleep with my subconscious mind thinking that I did 7 beautiful things today. I am coming closer to Krishna. I am good. Morning, what I do after japa, I look at the gap. Oh, I have to do so many things. Then I am working hard the whole day. But if you look at only gap all the time, I'm fallen, and no gap. Then even if you reach where you wanted to reach, because you are trained only to look at the gap, you will not be happy there when you reach. You will think you will create some other gap. So we have to learn to also look at the gain. We have to We will not be happy only when you go back to Godhead. You have to be happy even in the journey back to Godhead. You have to enjoy the journey also. People are saying, I will be happy only when I go back to Godhead. Then they will be miserable here and they will make others' life also miserable. Krishna consciousness is a blissful process. Discover what is your home state, where you get shelter, and hold on to that. And spend some time every day, and sometimes spend more time. I have one brahmachari friend in our ashram. He loves holy places, dham. He likes all the small details of different places. He does so much research, so much. And that is his home state. And one of the 5 principles Rupa Goswami has given is holy places. And he is such amazing details. Anything I ask him about any holy place, he knows. I think some of you may know him, Baldev Prabhu. He is one of my very good friends in the ashram. Yes, come in. So, last 11 years, he is giving Balram Jayanti class in Nasik every year. And every class last 11 years is different. I mean, Balram ji, how many pastimes are there in Bhagavatam? Very little. So if somebody is speaking only from Bhagavatam, then he has very little to speak. And he has to repeat Balram ji. Look, 11 years, 1.5 hour class every time. Means 16 hours he has spoken on Balram ji, all new. I asked him, kahan se lata hai sab? The Garga Samhita, that Puran, this Puran. And the places in Vrindavan, there are folk tales. So that is his home stay. He loves it. We have one brahmachari in our ashram, Gaur Vilas Prabhu. He just give him time, free time, he starts memorizing shloka. When he gives class, we just count the shlokas he says. Some of us. But Prabhu, today you scored a century. 120 shlokas. Because that he loves shlokas. It's not to show off. He doesn't show off. Bechara, he loves it, so he learns. And when he has to give class, he speaks what he has learned. So basically, we have to find our home state and spend some time every day. And if you are not able to understand what is your home state, what is the technique I said you should do?
Give up resistance.
Give up resistance. Whatever is coming, surrender. Okay, I'll give a simple explanation and then we can have some questions. You are driving a chariot and there are horses, right? So, what is the first house? There are 3 houses. Lowest house is what? Pleasure house. Pleasure. Second, problem solver and peace, or also known as sense gratification, struggle and shelter. Sense gratification house, pleasure house is like you are riding a chariot and the horses are going everywhere and you have no control. Fences are going everywhere, no control. That is the sense gratification house. We come to Hare Krishna, we learn that we have to control our senses, we have to become Goswami. So it is like holding the reins of the horses and struggling. I will now control this, I will become Goswami. Struggle. So devotees, when we come to Hare Krishna, we move from sense gratification house to struggle house, from pleasure to problem solver. We want to solve the problem of birth, death, old age, disease. All problem we live in the most of the time problem solving house, right? But after some years, we realize, I can't do this, Krishna. These horses I can't control. Krishna, this is really tough, Krishna. I'm doing it for so many years. Krishna, I give up. I raise my hand. Then I enter the 3rd house, where I've left the horses. But it is not like the first. In the first also you have left the horses. But first case, who is running the horses? Mind is running. In the 3rd case also you have given up. But who is running now? Krishna. So we have to come to surrender zone. Like Draupadi, she raised her hand. Krishna. So we all have to spend some time where we are not resisting, where we are allowing Krishna to influence us. So I have shared one technique today, not resisting, to discover your home state, right? So my agenda was to help you how to discover your home state. First is don't resist. Second technique I'll share now, which is very simple. Whenever you are struggling, right? Whenever you are thinking of pleasure or struggle, just add Krishna there. Prabhupada writes in Kunti, teachings of King Kunti, that so those who are drunkards, we request them that when you are drinking wine, please understand and remember that Krishna is the taste of this wine. So now this is not a license for you to go and drink wine. A drunkard is told to chant Hare Krishna when drinking. Devotee is not told to drink. There is a big difference. I hope you understand. So, but why? So he's struggling. He sends gratification. So add Krishna. So many devotees are not able to choose Krishna over Maya all the time. But at least you can take permission from Krishna. That you can always do. Or you can take forgiveness from Krishna. Even if you can't choose Krishna over Maya, you can always turn to Krishna. No? You are never disallowed from going to Krishna. So one technique I shared was don't resist. The second technique I'm sharing now is just pray, remember Krishna when you're struggling. Krishna, I'm struggling, Krishna, please help me. And then continue struggling. Then what will happen? Eventually, Krishna will reveal to you what is your mistake. Is this clear? Best example is Draupadi. You know, Draupadi, when Dushasan sent a messenger, you know that Draupadi Vastraharan past time. So when that messenger came and said, you have been lost in the gambling match. You have been called in the assembly. What did Draupadi do? Anybody knows? Mahabharata says what? What is the first thing Draupadi did? First thing she did was she remembered Krishna. Krishna, what is happening? Krishna, please help me. This is crazy. What is a disaster is happening, Krishna? Please help me. And then she was dragged, but she was also trying. But eventually a time came when she realized, I can't struggle now. Then she had to give up. If we artificially give up struggle and surrender, then who will take over? Not Krishna, who will take over? Mind will take over. Horses. You are supposed to pull the horses, no? If you say no, Krishna will take over. The horses, Krishna will not come. So we have to struggle and remember Krishna. Then Krishna will orchestrate our life and he will take us to surrender. Like, you are driving car. Oh, American roads are so good. You can go fast. If your car breaks down and you are stuck, okay, tire is punctured. What? So how can you practice what the technique I shared just now? How can you practice that technique when the tire is punctured? What can you do? Pray to Krishna and struggle again means what? Be specific. Your car is punctured, you are on the highway coming from Detroit to Farmington Hills, your tire is punctured. How will you practice the technique which I shared just now? Who will say? Call help, call for help and that is both are there. Understand what I'm saying? So she's right. So remember Krishna also. Krishna, please help, and then call for help. But you remember Krishna, that is like adding Krishna in the struggle. But imagine you are in a plane and the pilot announces, ladies and gentlemen, the engine has crashed. So now we are all going to jump to conclusion. Plane is going to crash now. Mayday. So at that time, what we will do? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare. So when Dushasan sent a messenger for Draupadi thought car ka breakdown ho gaya. But later on she realized to plane ka announcement hai. So she stopped struggling. So when to stop struggle and when to surrender, Krishna will take care of us. Don't worry. But at least now in your life, when you are struggling, add Krishna. And remembrance of Krishna. Is this clear? What we have discussed so far today? So we have discussed that in the external world there are 3 places. Similarly, in the inner world there are 3. What is the first? Shelter, also known as peace. Second, pleasure or sense gratification. Third, struggle or problem solving. Harry Potter, how many know Harry Potter? Ah, very good. So Harry Potter, some years back, one novel, one of the 6 I read, just because I'm a writer, I've written 4 books. So I want to know how people write, what they write. So I should not, I know it is Maya, but I read it. And I was so fascinated because J.K. Rowling, she captured the imagination of the world because she created 2 worlds. Right? She created the world of the muggles, the ordinary people who are living in this world. And the world of the wizards. Amazing. In the world of the wizards, it's like they're their own world. When we entered that platform 9 3/4 in King Station, I went there to see that in London. So you enter and suddenly you go through that wall, that pillar, and you enter the wizard world. They have their own train, they have their own school, the Hogwarts School of Magic, they have a principal Dumbledore, they have Olympics, they have police station, they have their own world, own law, own rules. And the muggles, the so-called normal people, they have their own world, own rules. So what I'm trying to say is, Harry Potter is also here also. We have we are all having 2 personalities. One is the outside world personality where we're doing so many things, talking, Haribo, etiquette, all of that. And the other is inside world. So what we are doing to today's classes, we are taking you into the inside world, opening the door and come inside. Understand the laws of this world. Then otherwise his mind can make you crazy. Once one joined the ashram and brahmachari, he just joined, but he was not happy. He should not have joined. Something had happened, he had joined. Externally he was smiling all the time, but internally he was angry, frustrated, a lot of things were happening. But nobody could know. In the inner world, he was living in the struggle. So we are taking prasad, dinner, and that was his chance, that was his turn that day to serve rice and sambar, evening prasad. So I was sitting, devotees were sitting. He was serving sambar quietly. And one devotee went, hey, I want sambar. He just asked extra sambar. So suddenly this boy, this young man, he walked up to him with a bucket of sambar and he picked it up and he said, Pura dal do sir pe. You are laughing now, but at that moment, our hearts stopped. Imagine hot sambar. Somebody did an abhishek of hot sambar. And when he picked it up like this and he was about to put, and then Gaurav was sitting there, Gaurav said, hey, and then he suddenly realized what he was doing. I started breathing heavily and he kept the bucket and he ran up and broke down and started crying. No, volcano is building up inside. In the external world, we are taught to be tough, and always present as if I don't cry, I'm strong. We are scared of being vulnerable because we think we will be exploited. But in the inner world, we have to be vulnerable. We have to be surrendering. Krishna, I'm so lonely. Krishna, I'm so weak. Krishna, I'm so wrong. Krishna, help me. That surrender space has to be there. That home, then you'll get a home experience. In the inner world, that home experience you'll only get when you say, Krishna, I'm yours. Krishna, please accept me. Krishna, I love you. But somehow we have to come there. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna. Somehow. So I invite you. You have 1.5 days to experiment. And when I come on Sunday afternoon for the class, I'm going to ask you these questions before we go ahead, and we are going to discuss something deeper on Sunday. We're going to discuss how to see Krishna even in social situations. That we'll do later. Hare Krishna, I'll stop here. If any questions anybody has, you can take. Yes, Mataji there. See one Mataji there.
Prabhuji, in our day-to-day life, there are so many struggles, not just one. Is it okay to keep asking or bringing the name of Krishna and surrendering him to him for every little struggle, or is it too much to ask him, for all the struggles that we go through every day? Or is it, and also my doubt is it equal to asking, give me this Krishna, give me that Krishna, or are they 2 separate things? asking him or crying for his help and asking favors from him every single day.
It's a beautiful question. Thank you. See, unfortunately, we are so suffering so much that for us, God is somebody who is there for solving my problem. Unfortunately, that is our situation. We are like a child, spoiled child, crying child, baby, always crying, I want. We have to grow up at some point of time. When we are new in Krishna consciousness, in our seniors tell us, it's okay, ask from Krishna. They know that we are a crybaby, so they don't discourage us. For everything they tell, ask from Krishna, pray to Krishna. But when we grow up, we have to help Krishna. Just like children help the parents, right? So in the Antelila 4th chapter, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying Haridas Thakur, Yavanera Samsara Dekhi, Dukkhana Bhagiya, and how will these Yavanas be delivered? And Haridas Kahe Prabhu, Chinta Na Kuriya, Haridas says, my dear Lord, don't take anxiety. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is service. To remove Lord's anxiety is service. Jai Shri Shara Gopi Ganavada Bhagavan ki I can continue the discussion? Yeah. Because Darshan opened. So, just listen, just let me explain this clearly. See, when we are new, our seniors encourage us. Okay, 24 hours, keep asking, crying, but we have to also learn to grow up, where we want to help Krishna's mission. So Prabhupada writes in that purport that this is service where we take anxiety of the Lord. So in preaching mission, temple seva. And then in that, when we pray to Krishna, then Krishna becomes more happy because we are doing it for Krishna. So it is all right. The answer to your question is it is all right to ask from Krishna for every small thing. But we have to also know that I have to grow up. So therefore what we do is some time we spend in that space where we don't, where we are not living in the I space. There are two spaces, I space and Krishna space. I space means it's all about me. Three most important words in my dictionary. I, me, I. So I may be praying to Krishna also, but it's all about me. Krishna. We are living in I space all the time. I, Krishna, give me this. Krishna, for me. Krishna space means, Krishna, what do you want? Krishna, how can I please you? Krishna, this devotee is dear to you, so I am going to serve him, Krishna. Krishna, this is a service I am doing for you, so please help me. But basically, it's all about Krishna space. Are you getting it? So the biggest difference between Christianity, Islam, Judaism, the Semitic religions, and our path, ISKCON, is the biggest difference is in our path, God is enjoying Ras Leela, God is having his pastimes. In other religions, God is only solving my problem. God, give me my daily bread. God exists because I have problem. If you tell them come to Hare Krishna program, they say, okay, what does your God do? Or God is doing Ras Leela. They become insecure, they become confused. God is killing demons, God is stealing butter. Why is he stealing butter? We think God must be God exists because he has to solve my problem, no? It's all about me. Their religion is all about I. But we are telling you, if you come to Hare Krishna, we tell you what is God doing when he's not busy solving your problem. He has his own life. He has his girlfriends, he has his boyfriends. He is enjoying with his mother, father, he is stealing butter. And you have no interest in that. That means we are very low in our spiritual life. It's all about me. So we tell you, okay, spend some time in Krishna's space. Some time in the class you hear about Krishna. When you hear about Krishna's pastime, it is not about your office problem, it is not about your home problem, but you are entering Krishna's space. And in that Krishna space, you will find some happiness, some sweetness that will satisfy the soul. And then you will want to spend more time in Krishna's space. And eventually you will stop asking things from Krishna and you will want to serve him. But initially, beginning, it is okay.
You also taught us about praying for others.
That also can be done. If you can't do it, thank you, Jagannath. Even if you can't do it for Krishna's space, at least you can start praying for others. And sometimes they will come and tell you, no, Prabhuji, please pray for me. You say, no, please pray for me. I was sincerely बोल रहा है. No, Prabhuji, I am in Maya, I am struggling. No, I am in Maya. No, Prabhu, you are in your Maya, I am in Maya. So all this we all this typical ISKCON dialogues. So we have to understand somebody is telling, please pray for me. You have to see sincerity. You can pray for others. So Krishna will be happy. Basically, somehow we have to get out of the I space. But initially it's okay. You are asking for myself. It's okay. Is that okay, Mother? Hare Krishna. There's one hand here, and then after that, Prabhuji can give it to her, and then.
Hi, Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your time, Prabhuji. I actually have 2 questions if we have time.
After your first question, we'll give the mic to Prabhuji, and then
Sure.
we'll come back to you after.
Sure. So, you mentioned that the external state, when you're in a struggle mode for in the external state, there can be, when your internal state is in struggle, there can be an anticipation of, okay, when I get to this, I'll have anticipation of the internal shelter space. What if your external state is such that you cannot get to that internal state today? So for instance, if I'm thinking, okay, I really love doing kirtan, I love doing it after work, 6:30, I love coming to the temple and doing kirtan. But my work goes until 7:30, 8 o'clock. I can't come to the temple, I can't do kirtan that day. That anticipation goes away and you stay in that struggle state. So how can you kind of keep that anticipation built up?
Good. Srila Prabhupada gave the formula. He said, I don't know if you've heard this, Prabhupada's famous formula. Make best use of a bad bargain. It's a bad bargain you got. So in that bad bargain, ask yourself, what is the best use I can do? I don't have any time today. I can't do anything. I can't go for the kirtan at all. Krishna, what is this? Then you take out your mobile phone on YouTube, some kirtan of Gaurmani, Madhav, something you play for a few minutes. Krishna sees, oh, I didn't give her any time today, but she's made the best use of a bad bargain. So she deserves some time. So tomorrow he may send you to kirtan. Krishna is the supreme controller ultimately. Like when I joined the ashram, so much seva, I should not get any time to read Prabhupada books. Morning backup, then guest reception seva, then book distribution. And I had joined the ashram thinking I will read scriptures. I had come from an academic background, college studies. So I thought, here I'll study scriptures, preach. So I felt very frustrated. So then I remember asking Gaurav Prabhu, then I'm so frustrated. Gaurav Prabhu gave me this one. He said, make best use of a bad part. So you have no time. You spend whatever little time that you read. So Krishna will see, I have not given him any time. But still he managed to read little bit. Oh, he deserves more time. So then Krishna will release some time. That's what happened to me. Then I realized it was Krishna's special mercy that I didn't get any time. Because if I had got time that time, I would have slept. So purification happens when we do seva. Then that desire has to be there. So I want to study, or kirtan, whatever. And then not a little time you get. That's how you show your sincerity, to Krishna. And then Krishna says, oh, you really did. Like, lover and beloved, boyfriend, girlfriend. Very busy, no time for each other, but they call, they text. Because of that, they're sending message to the universe that we want to be with each other. And the universe arranges that they come together. So similarly in Krishna consciousness, you really like kirtan, then whatever little time you get, grab it. Krishna will really, you will see Krishna's magic happening. Now I see I got so much time to study. Not now. This US trip is crazy. But in Mumbai, I get sometimes time to study, sometimes 4 or 5 hours at a stretch. It was unthinkable 20 years ago. Like that. Okay? Yes, on Prabhuji will ask and then we can come back to you if nobody has the question. Okay, you can ask the second question. Prabhuji has given you bonus.
Prabhuji, so the second question, you mentioned that at the end of the night you look at the game and the next morning you look at the gap. what if the gain at the end of the day does not match to the gap that you had at the beginning of the day? Like
That's okay. You are not supposed to see the gap at end. I don't see because there are so many gaps. Oh, you go crazy. See, I tell you what has happened with many devotees. Not devotees, every human being in the world. You only look at gaps. So I tell you one Prabhuji in our temple. When I spoke about gap and gain in one class, and he came and told me something shocking. Not shocking actually, I'm not surprised. He said, Prabhuji, I realized this gain and gap because yesterday I went home. We have a Govinda restaurant, which is very famous for pizzas in Mumbai. So he thought he would give a surprise to his wife and daughter. He said, Prabhuji, I took nice 2 pizzas, I packed them, and I took it home and I told my daughter, surprise! And then I opened it, it was pizza. You know what my daughter said? Papa, but this is not my favorite pizza, no. And then he said, Prabhuji, I realized she has been programmed to be in the gap space. Always seeing gap, always seeing what I don't have, what is inadequate. So even when you get a gain, your default setting is to see the gap. You ask yourself, is your default setting gap or gain? If it is gap, then you have to you have to drop all the gaps. Like so many times I make plans, and at the end of the day I see it has not worked. It's okay, but I gained a lot of things because many things in Krishna consciousness we learn out of spontaneity also. Like sometimes I didn't plan, then an old friend came, I spent time 2 hours with him. So all my things to do were for a toss. But this one thing was more so nourishing spiritually, and this was worth it. So the point is, we need to spend some time in the gain space. Otherwise, you know what will happen? You'll always be in the gap, and when you meet the gap, you will feel unhappy because your brain wired to always look at what you don't have. So even when you come there, you will think you're not got anything in bhakti. I know so many devotees who are actually blissful. They have everything going there. Say, oh, I'm so miserable. I'm not pure. Why is he crying? This. सब कुछ दिया है भगवान ने. Krishna is giving him everything. He has to be grateful. He has to be grateful for what Krishna is. No, Prabhuji, I'm not. It's so disappointing to the heart, you know. He's got good body, good health, you know, his good features. You can be thankful to Krishna only for that. I'm not saying we should be complacent. I'm just saying at least meditate on the gains. Gratitude for what Krishna is giving you. And even if nothing, you can be grateful to Krishna for the, you know, like, I don't like Karela sabji. But one day, one of the brahmacharis, sorry, Rajma. I don't like Rajma. So one of the brahmacharis, you know, he knew that he is a cook. We have brahmacharis cook in our temple. So he knows that I don't like Rajma and he wanted to make Rajma. So he made it like Mexican Rajma. He made Mexican tacos. And he, you know, those Mexican nachos को डाल के ऐसा उसको राजमा को ऐसा tasty बनाया, crispy बनाया. I enjoyed it so much. And then afterwards we spoke and then we were happy. And then the night when I was filling my diary, I write about the games today, what all. So one of the things I wrote, I have to thank Krishna, gratitude. Thank you, Krishna, for excellent Rajma today. So if you had come that time to my room and you had seen me writing it, you, Prabhuji is so senior and he's thanking Krishna for such ordinary thing. I have realized one thing in life. It is better to remember Krishna for ordinary thing than to forget him in the pursuit of the extraordinary. Pure bhakti ka chahiye, Shuddha Krishna prem. And in that pursuit, we fight with other devotees. And we don't remember Krishna. Better to remember Krishna for ordinary. Let us begin somewhere. Krishna, thank you. You have given me a good family. You have given me good parents. All that. You begin somewhere and look at the gains. And then when you go up, and also spend some time in gap. Otherwise, you know, if you only look at gains, you become proud. I am the best devotee. I am pure. I am very humble. I am very good. So that is crazy. So we have to look at the gaps also. That's why we need to hear Bhagavatam class, where we are made to realize I am fallen, I am not good. But whole day, every day, I am fallen. Then your mind, you know, I am bad. You know what happens to the mind. Today's class is on mind. Let me tell you the secret of the mind. You must, some of you will nod your head and you realize what I'm saying is true. If you keep saying I'm bad, I'm not good, I'm bad, You know what the mind says? I am bad. And what do bad people do? Bad things. So you will land up doing that very thing because of which you are thinking you are bad. And you'll be wondering, I am bad, I am bad. Because you have taken the guilt to the next level. Guilt is good. Guilt is I have done bad. But shame is I am bad. You have done bad, correct it. No, I have done bad, so I am very bad person. So that story, then you do it more. What you don't want to do, that you do more. We are not international society for guilt consciousness. We are international society for Krishna consciousness. If your guilt is helping you come closer to Krishna, very good. But if it's taking you away from Krishna, you're always living in the gap. If you're always blaming yourself, always unhappy, then throw away that guilt and look at the gain. Krishna, today I attended this class, today I took prasadam in temple, today I met this devotee, today I appreciated 4 devotees. All that. Just look at the gains you are getting in bhakti. Be grateful. Is that okay? Oh, one last question can we take? Then we'll end, or is it too late? It's 9:05. Should we stop? One last question? Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful question. I was happy that you were asking questions. Okay, thank you very much for your talks, and especially the last point that you made, that we have to see whether we are not always in a gap or always in shelter. Prabhuji, my question is more in a home state. I know you gave a couple of formulas and tips how to find out, but does it have to be fixed, Prabhuji, or it can change day by day, situation by situation? Because it's very difficult to identify.
Activity is external. Krishna Rupa Goswami has given 64 items of devotional service. 64. 64 items are there.
Okay. Does does home state always have to be devotional to every single time?
See now even as you're asking this question, I can see how much you are in the struggle space. The need for clarity, the need for answers. We refuse to, we just can't live with uncertainty. This is all the reflection of how much you are living in the struggle space. As you're speaking, I'm seeing, this struggle so much. I don't know. Many times I tell people, I'm confused. They get scared. How can you be confused? Probably you are supposed to know everything. I don't know. Ambivalence. Ambivalence. What is ambivalence? Ambivalence means to have contradictory feelings for the same thing. So I am an ambivalent person and I'm happy about it. So people think, no, you should have clarity. Today, we are living in this world where clarity is glorified. In Facebook, you have like or dislike. You don't have like and dislike. That's why I'm not on Facebook. Yeah, I really like you, Prabhu. And I really don't like this particular thing that you are doing. We think if I like someone, then I cannot not like. And if I not like, it's like, it's not this or this. It is this and this. I don't say, people say, I really love him, but he's so arrogant. So I don't use the word but, I say I really love him and he's arrogant. I get angry with that, I don't like him, but I like him also. So the point is, I'll come back to the question, but first I want to tell you this one point about ambivalence, uncertainty. Let us be okay with not knowing what is my home state. Just be on the path, just don't resist what's coming. And then eventually, as you get older, you will find your shelter. Your hand will spontaneously go to the bead bag. Now it's going to the smartphone. So these things will happen. We have to have faith in Krishna. And it's okay not to have one particular home state. Don't analyze it too much. It will cause paralysis by analysis. So just relax in bhakti and allow things to come. And whatever comes, take it up. Prabhuji, this seva has to be done. Okay, do it with enthusiasm and see how Krishna is. So therefore, yes, home state is not it's not a pick, it's not like I discovered home state now. Then it becomes very mechanical. that spontaneity, that rasa goes away from Krishna. You were saying something in the last part of your question, I missed it, which is what I want to address, but
It's but only spiritual thing.
yeah, that's my favorite part. Does it have to be only Krishna conscious? No, it can be quasi-spiritual also. There is something material, materialistic activity. Then there is spiritual, but there is something called as quasi-spiritual, which is not Maya, but it is not pure Krishna conscious also. And I have a lot of quasi-spiritual activities that give me shelter, like journaling, poetry, nature walk. So I do all of that, sitting under the bank of the ocean, and sometimes just sitting like this, doing pranayama, breathing. But that is a precursor, that is a ladder. We want to go to Krishna eventually. If you are stuck there, then you don't evolve. So, but that's a good beginning point. Like for me, one of the greatest joys I get in life is when I switch on the task negative mode of the brain, which means I just sit and relax. I sit like this. Because I grew up in a small village. My grandparents used to take me for a walk in the evening. My grandfather on this side, my grandmother on this side. They used to go and sit in the fields in the evening. That time we didn't have TV, we didn't have all this. And they used to sit and just look at the sky. And I used to look at them. And my grandfather's father and grandmother looking at the fields, the sky. And then something my grandfather would say in between. Something my grandmother would say something. And I don't know after how long, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, then they would go inside the house and I would go with them. That time I didn't understand. Now I do that myself. Not 2 hours. Once in a week, maybe for half an hour or something, I just sit. I'm just present. Human being, we're not human doing. Just be. Be. Once I was sitting like this, so Baldev Prabhuji is my very close friend. He comes here also. So he told me, hey Baldev, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing nothing. He said, no, you must be memorizing shloka, no? I said, no. He's a manager, Pakka manager. So he said, oh, you must be planning for tomorrow's preaching program. I said, no. Acha, not planning for preaching, you are not learning verses. You must be some class you must be making. Oh, you must be remembering Krishna. I don't know. I may be, but my mind is wandering, but I'm coming back to awareness. I'm just present. No, but what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. No, I said, yes. Nothing. I said, how can you do that? I said, Prabhu, it requires, like a sage, sage is jnana, I give him jnana. I said, Prabhu, it requires a lot of hard work to do nothing. He was like stunned by that statement. It requires a lot of hard work to not do anything. Because we want to do, if you always wanted to do something, then you will do this. If the best way to get out of smartphone addiction is learn to be without doing anything. Because we are a doer mode, na? Always doer, struggle space. If you live in struggle space always, then you will go to sense gratification. And remember, I told you, struggle, sense gratification. If you're struggling, then this will, all the horrible things are in this only. Earlier, you have to go to get Maya. Now Maya has come here. So therefore, we have to be careful. So yeah, if you like something which is not directly Krishna conscious, but is giving you a sense of belonging, then accept it in a humble spirit. Instead of struggling in Krishna consciousness 24 hours, I've seen devotees are struggling, chanting 16 rounds. Such a drag. I saw 2 devotees chant one day in the temple also. Both of them are chanting japa. Struggling, and one fellow is asking, "Kitna mala baki?" He said, "Mera 4 mala baki." Char, mera 8 baki. How are they thinking? Why are they torturing themselves? This fellow is saying, I have got 4 rounds left, and he's saying, you're lucky, I have 4 and I have 8 rounds left. But Krishna will say, you give up chanting, be happy. Don't be miserable. This is not supposed to be, this is supposed to be sukham kartum avayam. Instead of these beats, these japa beats, we are more interested in this beat. Counter beat. We're only looking at this. Hare Krishna, khatam, khatam, khatam. So that's what I'm saying. This is all because of struggle space. Because you're living in the struggle space of chanting has become drag. Everything in bhakti has become boxes, ticking, gaps. So then somehow, something you do, even if it is not direct bhakti, at least you are feeling a sense of belonging. And there you add Krishna. Krishna, I'm doing this journaling. Please forgive me, Krishna. Krishna, I love you. बस एक बार बोल के तो देखो. And then Krishna will give you taste. And that activity you will find Krishna. Okay? Yes, final word.
Finally,
Oh, you also want to say that?
no, that's so negative that one, the excitement or anticipation that what is going to happen next, whether I will be able to just go to the people or not because of my office work, and that's one question. Oh, and then with this is a kind of the ambivalence to be avoided. I come to this point. There is a kind of a middle path or whatever that it comes to take, and that's going to just make yourself much better.
That's true. What you're saying is true. And we need to also have that power, that acceptance. What is going to come? Let me take it. So you may not be taking part in kirtan, but you may experience Krishna in that particular responsibility that you take. That's true. That's how spontaneity. That's what Krishna calls. That's why we have a rule. Many brahmacharis, when we get seva, we don't say no. First answer we say yes, and then we can't do it. We say we can't do it. But first we say yes because we don't know how Krishna will reveal. What Krishna will do. So I've seen in ISKCON, devotees are also merciful. When you can't do something after some time, they forgive you. But see Krishna how he comes. Thank you for that comment. Yes, Prabhu. Last.
Prabhu, thank you so much once again for all the thought-provoking class. Prabhu, my question is, there are two states you mentioned, the internal and the external, right? So probably in the internal state, somebody, what he's going through, we don't know. Like you gave the example of the devotee serving someone. And the external state of the other devotee may be something different. But he came and he just started tossing the whole sample around. How can we learn? What is that answer that we can see what is the internal state of the other person?
Oh, other person. Oh, Baba. Oh, no. I'm not good in that. I can speak out. That is very dangerous also. We can't judge what is going on in the mind. Prabhupada was once told. Prabhupada was looking very sad in this photograph. You know what Prabhupada said? Oh, that was moment when I was in deep ecstasy. So we can't know. Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. Internally, other person, I'm not so expert. But I can tell you about what's happening inside me. That awareness by Krishna mercy.
When somebody asked you a question, you understood at what state the person is in. Him accordingly.
Correct.
I'm trying to learn from that.
Okay, as a service to serve the person.
Yes.
So the best way to do it is to get wisdom. See, we are now entering a very deep subject, which is we are now entering awareness at the ego level. See, awareness, there are two levels of awareness. One is being aware of the mind. So if your intelligence is sharpened, if you do breathing, if you do some chanting, you can see your mind is separate from you. But there is awareness of the ego, which is very difficult, which you cannot have awareness of ego with your intelligence. Because intelligence, ego is more subtle than intelligence. Right? So you need higher intelligence. So when you have a culture of Shravanam, when you study scriptures, when you get higher wisdom, higher knowledge, you hear classes regularly, you associate with senior devotees, then that will give you the intelligence to see the ego, clear the ego model, and then you'll be able to serve better. So therefore, the best way to help others understand what space they are in, the best way to do that is by becoming a Madhyam Adhikari. Madhyam Adhikari is who he involves Krishna. He encourages people to do hearing chanting. Because Krishna, Srimad Sakata Krishna is the one who will clean the heart. I cannot help him. If I'm convinced about that and I connect him to Krishna as much as I can, then Krishna will guide him also and guide me also to serve him better. And Krishna will reveal to me that he is struggling right now. Or he is seeking self gratification. All that. As a service, we can do that. But default setting should be to connect that person to Krishna. Because Krishna is the one who can help him. I cannot. I can only help him hear about Krishna. I can only help him connect with Krishna, and then Krishna will take care of him. And then when Krishna sees I am sincerely connecting him to Krishna, Krishna will give me the intelligence to help him. So it's very important like that. So therefore, the principle is know that It's not a technique ultimately. So we are talking about very deep subject, no? We are touching somebody's judging another person. That's very, very sacred. I mean, we have to be really in the mode of service. Okay, we'll stop. Okay, well, last, Prabhuji say yes.
Probably you mentioned that when you were in the class, and you would ask for this. So why we need to do that?
Why do we need to do what?
No, you said you would ask Krishna to forgive you before you writing journal.
No, I didn't say that. I said you can ask to forgive in general, but in the context of journal I mentioned, but it's not that you have to seek forgiveness for journal. Why should you seek forgiveness? I think sometimes I seek forgiveness while writing journal because I'm in the middle of, I get up very early and I write sometimes I'm in the peak of it and I'm really getting, it's going on a flow. And suddenly I hear the constant blowing, Mangalarti. And I feel bad because I'm supposed to be in Mangalarti. Every day I'm in Mangalarti, but sometimes it happens and then it's a struggle. So then, but I'm in the middle of this. I'm connecting with Krishna right now. So then Krishna, please forgive me. I know I should be in Mangalarti, but let me complete this. So like that. So I was thinking of that when I was telling him that seek forgiveness. But it doesn't have to be like that. Because Prabhupada says journaling is Paranam. August 14, 1973 lecture of Prabhupada in Los Angeles. So that is a devotional activity. So writing is devotional activity. But Sankirtan is the most important because I find shelter in Sankirtan. So then what I do is I go for Guru Puja, Japa, Video, so I make up. But sometimes, it's, when you're in a flow state, you can't just draw. So then I say, Krishna, forgive me. Then we'll stop here. So we'll meet on Sunday afternoon and I'll ask questions. Please remember, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Adagoti Jana Padma Padma ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much.
Grace Vraja Bihari Prabhuji ki jai.
Hare Krishna, devotees, one small announcement. We are doing another festival first and next night from Sunday, but next Sunday.